to the game itself, AJ. Firing range on hardpoint. The first
number 3, he approaches from the back. CBR4, Demars with the damage, but he quickly gets equalized by AG. And Blacklist seems to be holding on to this pretty decently with all of those power positions just securely held on in their hands.
Look at how well defined Blacklist International Ultimate is on the tin house, and looking like they are gonna falter now as they do get pushed down to Narnia, as PJ will make that play from the backstab. Player 5 here, Kalo trying to cut off the deal here for tunnels, and so far it's gonna be the West Point Mamba LowKings handling down the power positions, and they do get the influence inside the hill.
Yep, and of course Blacklist just needs to circle on around and do the exact same thing second time, but they seem to be a little bit slower to the pace this time round. An early rotation into P2 is most definitely needed. Both teams thinking of the exact same thing, sending out both of their anchors. Rage will be able to back away first, followed by Luffy. Both players do not engage, and as I say that, Luffy finds Rage, beams him down, but the backstab ensues as well. Skirt says hello, and it is Blacklist with the hill.
Skur, Jabin, AG putting themselves up in the board, more than enough take for them to get the break instead of hill. 31-30, a very close game as it is, but it's only the start. No snowballing for now, and we might be able to expect the same nature here as the game progresses. As once more, the West Point Mamba LowKings, they get the break instead of hill. Split spawn situation, actually more to the left side of the minimap now, will be given for the set of Blacklist International Ultimate. Well, the West Point Mamba LowKings onto rotations now, but in the process, they get the call that they have to cut off the rotations here all for mid lane. Until then, they are going to be able to get the leeway to just get the capture inside the hill.
Yeah, very well played by the players on the side of Blacklist, but they get slain out the moment they step on into the hill, and they will not be able to take that from the West Point Mamba LowKings. Time runs out. There's no more time to attempt for that P2 once again, so the setup for P3 is much needed. Blacklist, they haven't been anchoring down the spawns at Shower Room. They rush on straight for the objective, and player number 5, he wins it out for the team. Fantastic of an attempt, but Demos quickly undoes that play, and West Point Mamba LowKings should be able to unlock this hard point at the kickoff of P3 as well.
PG starts with so far the biggest lead we've seen in this game. Around a 40-point lead, as we can see that the West Point Mamba LowKings is handling this one out compared to Blacklist International Ultimate. Red room spawn for the side of Blacklist, while the West Point Mamba LowKings well defined inside the hill. That's going to be 2 players around the perimeter, 2 inside the hill. Can they hold on for dear life? They can absolutely do. Last 2 players here for this very wave for the side of Blacklist. It's going to be player 1 making the play, but he does get denied.
It's a great hole for them so far. Blacklist cannot approach from the mid part of the map, so shooting range is gonna be exactly what it is. Those long range engagements needs to be dealt with first, but the Holger 26 in the hands of Luffy sorts it out. So no access from the mid lane, no access from that shooting range, and they back away for an early rotation into that barracks hut. And I tell you, the lead by West Point Mamba LowKings is looking to be absolutely monstrous at this very moment. They just need one solid break. They need to force the players of Blacklist to respawn from all the way inside of backyard. That warehouse number 4, that bomb site, if they can do that, it's a GG WP. Here's that play. Let's see that execution.
This is the display of how ravenous the LowKings is. 126-38. That's going to be followed by the full 60 that they were able to accumulate all the way down to P3. Hardpoint number 4 opens up, and looking like a full fortified Blacklist International Ultimate, they get flushed out. Split spawn situation for them, but with Demars, they're spraying for their life, trying to get the break from the back ends. Won't really cut the chase, and the game is still on for the side of Blacklist International Ultimate. For a moment or so, the momentum, they're on the driver's seat.
The reason why Blacklist is still holding onto the hill is because of that shower room spawn. It's just allowing them to throw their members straight back in there, one after the other. But West Point Mamba LowKings winning out a couple of gunfights, but the biggest gunfight won out by Yato. Investment on that Sparrow is just perfect, and he holds onto the hill for the rest of his team members. Challenge comes on through for Kalo as well. He goes in for the claw investment. Baliv is able to do anything with it, and Blacklist will be able to catch up. As I say that, Yopi hops on in. Even without the spawn, LowKings are able to keep up with Blacklist with their gunfights.
The reads of the West Point Mamba LowKings, and especially in their individuality, the gunfights has been so stellar for them. They've been able to perform. Look at the kill feed, look at the kill share. Might be on the even grounds, but most of the impact has been given for the side of the LowKings. As we approach back to hardpoint number 1, we do see the first handful of contestment here will begin for the side of Blacklist. But if ever they are not going to be able to take the White Warehouse back to their side, we might be able to see the break come true for the side of the West Point Mamba LowKings.
Yeah, West Point has got double of the points that Blacklist International Ultimate holds on to right now. Spawning out from the backyard. This is not the easiest of access into that very first hard point. point, but the power positions have not been acquired by the West Point Mamba LowKings. Therefore, it is possible for Blacklist to hop on in there. Auto repair is first off taken on by that Six as well as Skirt, but he does not have the backup to go in and engage with the players just yet. Everybody hops on right now. 3 more seconds. This is the break for Blacklist. They'll acquire the hill. A big fight coming on through. Yopi wins 1. Can he win out 2? No, the answer is no. Yopi finally loses it, but it is only after LowKings pick up a few solid points in there. Blacklist International Ultimate are losing out a majority of the gunfights.
The persistence of the West Point Mamba LowKings in terms of winning the gunfights inside a hill has been absolute stellar, and that's exactly why they're on the lead right now. Scrap time, main points itself, they are able to accumulate it for big time. The Blacklist International Ultimate, they are putting a lot of efforts in terms of winning the parameter, but not inside a hill. So here we go. If they want to prove themselves worthy now, it has to start now at this exact very hill. As we move over to P2 with the first initial break given for the side of Blacklist International Ultimate.
It is gonna be a crazy start to Championship Sunday if West Point Mamba LowKings takes this hard point away in a dominating fashion. But we all know a stellar comeback from Blacklist International Ultimate. We are no strangers to that sort of a gameplay. Reverse sweeping Smart Mega, kicking them down into the lower brackets, and that was a phenomenal play we will not forget for a long time. West Point Mamba LowKings might just be the victims to the exact same gameplay, but I would rather not have it that way, because, you know, I don't want to get a heart attack, bro. 176 to 110. Blacklist International Ultimate now holding on to scraps. They're playing the second rotation of hardpoint so much more better. Early rotation into P3 as well, and they're clearing out the front. They're making sure LowKings gets nowhere near towards this P3, but it's just so much that they can do, because the mid-range control is not really there for the players of Blacklist just yet. They're playing this very scrappy because they're all spread out on the map.
You know, with a bounce back here for Blacklist International Ultimate, there's one question here that I have in mind. Can the West Point Mamba LowKings put the icing on the cake, or are they going to falter once more? And looking like so far, Blacklist International Ultimate, they're on the driver's seat. The West Point Mamba LowKings, so they're trying to get a break here from barrels. Double chow comes through, but AJ takes down 1, and in the process as well, Jabin takes down another one as well. And the West Point Mamba LowKings, they get flushed out. Blacklist International Ultimate holding on to the very hill.
Oh, this is a great comeback by Blacklist International. LowKings, on the other hand, you have to love their challenges, man. Every single time they come and challenge there for the hill, they do not make the mistake of trickling in one at a time. They have got that partnership. They've got those duos pushing in together, and the double challenge should have worked out for the LowKings a little bit earlier, but Blacklist just turned things around by dominating those gunfights. Kalo with the claw investment this time round, but he just goes in there to spray it and is taken down by AG. Very smart wraparound. Yopi instead gets traded out. Blacklist holds on to the final scrap points of this hill, but the spawn for P4 held on by LowKings. This is going to be a game changer if they can keep their hands on this.
Once was an 80-point lead down to just 24. West Point Mamba LowKings to get the first initial break for P4, while in the process Blacklist International Ultimate trying to simultaneously break into multiple entrances, and that's going to be now more defined here from the front lines, which PJ is going to be able to cut off 1, going to be able to cut off 2, and they're going to be able to survive the first wave here out away from Blacklist International Ultimate. The game continues now with the West Point Mamba LowKings on the 200-point mark.
Even the YouTube chat thinks that West Point Mamba LowKings is going to win this match against Blacklist International Ultimate. 52% of the chat thinks WPM will take this win away, and the scoreline says exactly the same at hardpoint for the time being. Yopi with a double, 221 already. Blacklist International just needs to rotate around and break that hold at shower room, but with 18 more seconds to go, do they want to give up? If they give up, they'll let go too much of those points, and they'll surely lose this to the players of West Point Mamba LowKings. There's no if, buts, or maybes, because winning out every single gunfight and holding onto the hill, keeping them out, looks to be a big problem for Blacklist.
Yeah, it has been so far, and if ever they do win those gunfights, it's not really the most impactful ones. I mean, you really got to win those gunfights inside a hill. So with them trying to secure the parameter, it could be a good start for them to try to build up a comeback. Jabin here on the steel tower, on a 2-3 so far, cutting up the rotations here down to Narnia. Gonna be able for player 4 here to just put the contestant inside a hill, and so far we're seeing the West Point Mamba LowKings nowhere to be found.
Yep, Jabin, it is a great position for the guy to hold on to. That SKS has been on quite a roll, the 3rd kill, and that will help them hold on to this P1 for just a little bit. And you can see it's not just 1 power position, but 2 being played at the very same time. Auto repair, they did have the player, but Scout Tower taken out, and that's the first 2 steps that Yopi needs to now move on with. And Yopi single-handedly, 3 players and 3 very key players who are holding on to that hill. 20 seconds here can end the game. West Point Mamba LowKings, once again they falter. falter because of Skirt's investment inside of the Sparrow. 7 more shots out of this. He's going to be waiting for that backup, but nobody else on the side of Blacklist picking up those very important points. Scrap finally acquired by Blacklist, but West Point Mama LowKings, they rotate around to P2 because they know this is where it ends.
Approaching to P2, the West Point Mamba LowKings only needs 4 more points to take the first game out away from Blacklist International Ultimate. But look at the parameter here all around. It's going to be your boys from Blacklist International Ultimate holding this one down. In the process, the West Point Mamba LowKings trying to wrap around from the middle lane to try to penetrate into different takes, and looking like they are going to be able to win the first few engagements now. Clo trying to cut off the rotation here from Barrels, but it's not going to cut the chase. And Blacklist International Ultimate, they survive for another run.
West Point, they do have that one operator. They can use it for a break, or they can wait for P3 and try to go in for a challenge on P2 just to stop the bleeding and then later acquire the win. Either way, it's gonna be a huge risk. 4 more points needed. That's not a lot at all. They just need to go in with one clean break. But Blacklist, they will falter. And this is West Point Mamba LowKings putting their mark in Garena Master Season 4.
First game accumulated by the Kings. West Point Mob.
That was not the kind of fight that we're going to be starting off this upper bracket finals with. I think it was a well-deserved